So data analytics is probably one of the hottest industries right now, with lots of opportunities. But despite all these opportunities, a lot of people are still struggling to get their foot into the door. And I experienced the same things until I changed a few things, and that's what I want to share with you in this video. So one of the biggest mistakes a lot of people make when they're trying to get into the industry is when they're job searching, they just go somewhere like LinkedIn and just type in data analyst, you know. And with that, that's very limiting because, and it's very difficult as well because, that presents like a lot of competition because a lot of people make the same mistakes anyway. You know, even me right now with my current title, it actually doesn't say data analyst in it at all. Like, it's completely different. Like my title now is like it's like a glamorized way of just saying a data analyst, just a fancy way, but it's literally the same thing. And the only way you find out I'm actually a data analyst is by looking through my job specifications. Do you get it? So what what would be a better way of job searching? Like, so a better way is, like, say if you go on LinkedIn, for example, rather than just type in data analyst, you want to experiment with different keywords, because in fact the data analyst, like, job itself, there's so many titles. There's like probably over 40 different ways of referring to an analyst, because it's a different type of analyst in different industries. A good way to search for data analyst job is to play around with the keywords. So instead of just typing data analyst, you might want to just type analyst, like, for a start. When you type in analyst, different type of analysts will show up, and that's the beauty of data analytics anyway, because there's different analysts in different industries. You understand? So you want to bring up all of those. So if you type in analyst, you might see a business analyst, a finance analyst, this analyst. There's so many types of analysts, probably over 40 or 100 plus. I don't know. So you want to bring up all of those. So play around with the keywords. That would be a good start. And then you also, what worked for me a lot is when I'm searching for analyst jobs as well, I also type in like the tools rather than the actual title. So instead of typing a data analyst, I might type in Excel. So any job that uses, or any company that's looking for someone that uses Excel will sort of come up, and then I'll go through that, and then I'll pick and choose which one relates to what I'm looking for, and then I might type in Power BI, and then with Power BI, again, it will show up a lot of companies that are looking for someone that can use Power BI, so it will bring up all of those. So I use like different keywords and play around with it, and that opens a lot of opportunities up to you, because I'm telling you, there's a lot of job titles out there that actually is a data analyst, but it won't say it in the title, and until you read a job description, you're not going to find out. And many people miss out on those opportunities because of the way they use their keywords. Another big mistake, so I was making this mistake as well. This is a very big mistake that a lot of people make, is that they're scared to hype themselves. They're very scared to hype themselves. Like, if they kind of downplay what they've done a little bit, and I had to correct that about myself as well. I used to make the same exact mistake, because I'm thinking, oh, maybe you know I'm reading too much into this, or I'm overhyping what I've done a little bit. But that's exactly what you need to do, because the people that are getting the jobs are the ones that are doing that. Okay, so no matter how small what you've done is, you need to hype it, because the key is, look, when you're given the opportunity, can you do the job? Yes. If you can, then yes, by all means, overhype like what you've done, big it up. You did that. You understand? Like, for example, I'll give you an example. Okay, like for myself, some few years ago, I was into clothing, so I was doing like gym wear, in my local area. So I used to sell like gym clothing, like in my gym. Like, I didn't have, for me, it's just like I was just making, obviously printing t-shirts or whatnot and selling it. But if I'm to put that on my CV, like, I'm gonna put on that, look, I was the CEO of this and that company. Yeah, I was selling clothing, and I was helping people with this, people with that, and I actually did like those things. So why am I scared to hype it? I was a business owner. I was selling clothes. I sold so and so units. I helped with this. I helped with that. I made this and that change. What I did impacted. You know what I'm saying? You have to hype, no matter how small it is. If you set up a small lemonade stand, like on the streets near your area or wherever, it's still a business, because that's what businesses do. Transactions. You sell something and people buy it. That's what Tesco's do and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. So you need to be bold and hype up like the jobs you've done. So look through, some of the jobs that you've done in your company, some of the things that you helped with, and really big up yourself on your CV for some of the work that you've done. Because if you're scared to hype yourself, no one is going to do it for you. No one's going to know until you tell them. Okay, so big up the work that you've done, and that will put you in a great position. It wasn't until I started doing that that's when things changed for me. My CV started to look better, and I had better examples in when I was answering questions in interviews. Because when I sat back and looked back, I was like, you know what, I have done quite a bit. So why am I not putting it out there? You know what I'm saying? So look through what you've done. Nothing is too small. Learn how to big up. So what I'll do is, like, if I don't know how to like interpret that in my CV, I'll get like ChatGPT to do it for me. I'll say, look, I did this and I did that. Tailor it to someone that's trying to become a data analyst or whatever, and ChatGPT will help you with that. So really hype up the skills, like what you've done. Okay, even if you've done like, do you have any experience with Excel? Okay, maybe you don't use Excel in like your company like all the time, but you have used it a couple of times. So big up, like hype up what you've done with Excel. You have used it before. Don't be afraid to use it, and don't be afraid to say it. You know what I'm saying? So big up yourself. Don't be afraid. Another big mistakes a lot of people make as well is when they're searching for jobs, they only use LinkedIn. Okay, there's so many ways to look for jobs, like on Google, there's Indeed, there's a lot of different platforms. Don't just stick to LinkedIn because it looks easier, it's got a good user interface or whatever. But I'm telling you, if you actually want to be successful in your job search, you want to go on the company websites, because not many people are seeing that. When I started doing more of that, that's when I started getting opportunities. So I actually go on specific company websites. Okay, because the thing with what LinkedIn does is it brings like um different companies to you that you might never have heard of. But when you actually make the effort and research companies yourself and go on their websites, okay, that's when you start to see a lot of opportunities, and there's less competition as well, because not many people might know about the company, so they're not applying. You get it? So go onto the company website. It will put you in a good place. Okay, and of course, when you go on the company website as well, a lot of times when you're applying, you're actually getting the opportunity to sell yourself that you don't get to do on LinkedIn sometimes. But on the companies, they're asking you a lot of questions, and it gives you that opportunity to really apply for the job and really sell yourself to them. And if you do end up using LinkedIn for a specific job, don't focus or use a lot of those easy to apply ones. That one, it doesn't land you. It doesn't, because that one there's so much competition, because it's very easy to apply. Like, I can just pick up my phone now and just press apply, and then it's applied. You know what I'm saying? So that will bring you like a lot of competition. Of course, apply for as many as you can, but like, don't focus too much on that one. That one, I'm guessing, like, if you're up against a lot of people with experience, like, nothing is gonna come out of that. So you want to focus on the actual applications where you can actually sell yourself. And then what a lot of people do as well, and what I started to do as well, when many people apply for jobs, they only a couple of scrolls, and then they're tired. They don't keep scrolling. With me, I keep scrolling to the ones that a lot of people don't tend to see, because the further you go, a lot of times you see because if you look at the LinkedIn job posting, all of them, majority of them are sponsored. So, like, of course, the LinkedIn bring it to the front. Probably the more that you pay, the closer it brings your job posting to the front. Okay, but what about the other ones? You get it? So you want to keep scrolling. Yeah, keep scrolling to the ones at the back, because I think what helped me as well with my first job opportunity was the one that I applied for. It was all the way at the back. It was all the way at the back, so it didn't have many applications, which means less competition. So that's what I was doing. So I would scroll through LinkedIn looking for the ones where it had less competition, the ones with under 100 applications in say like a week or two or whatever, then I know there's not many applications there. So I'll definitely apply for those kind of opportunities as well. So you want to keep scrolling to the back, yeah. Look for the ones where um, yeah, it only has a few applications, and put your hat in the ring, and then see what happens. Okay, so don't just look at the first couple of job postings that come up. Keep scrolling to the ones that no one is getting to see. Also, you want to be early as well. You want to apply for jobs that in the first 24 hours if you can. So as soon as it drops, you're putting your application in there. That will also give you opportunities. Because think about it, like as a recruiter, you probably have a lot of recruiters have a lot of pressure, to try and recruit someone for a company as quickly as they can, and if you can find someone within the first week or whatever, why wait till like 4 weeks? You know what I'm saying? So the earlier you do it, the better you give yourself a chance. Because if they find what they're looking for, then they might just ignore all the other ones. Me, right now, I remember from working the railway, when sometimes when they open up applications, like they get thousands of applications and they can't you know accept everybody, so they have to close it off early sometimes. You get it? So you want to get in the first 24 hours, get your application out there, so that they can consider you first, and then you're more likely to get an interview or whatever. Don't wait till like I'll probably the ones that are like sometimes 3 weeks and 4 weeks old. I won't focus too much on that. You want to be early. Yeah, first 24 hours, try and get that. Not to say you shouldn't apply for ones after that, but if you can get in very early, do that. Okay. So, and I think on LinkedIn as well, you can set your applications for those kind of opportunities as well. So get in early, and that will put you in a great position as well. Another massive mistake a lot of people make when they're trying to break into data analytics as well is that they don't like to compromise. They hear like about all the fancy stuff, working in tech, and they want that from the start. They want to work, you know, strictly remote. They want, the best salary. They want a job that's down the road from them. Like, they want like all the nicest things straight from the start. But at the start, you have to be willing to compromise a little bit. So with me, I remember at the start, I was looking for jobs everywhere. I didn't care how far away it was from me. I was willing to, give it a try. Because I know it's not gonna be forever. If I can endure that from 6 months to a year, in a year's time, I'll find with the experience I get, I can find, a better opportunity with better terms, if you know what I mean. So at the start, yeah, you might want to compromise on the location a little bit. So maybe um, maybe not one in the city just yet. Maybe something a little bit outside. Maybe 2 hours away or wherever. Just give it a try, get that experience. Maybe it's not fully remote. Maybe you have to go in office pretty much, 5 days a week, maybe 4 days a week or whatever. At the start, just do that, get your experience up, okay? And the salary as well, maybe you want to compromise on salary a little bit as well. Like with me, um, again, when I was trying to break in, I was willing to compromise on the salary. I was willing to take a huge pay cut to get my foot in the door. But fortunately for me, the first job that I got pretty much what I was getting in my previous job anyway, so I didn't have to get a massive pay cut. And then after that, with 1 year's experience under my belt, it made it easy for me to transition to a new industry and also get slightly higher salary as well. So you have to be willing to compromise, guys. Don't just go in and wanting all the fancy stuff, straight from the start. Get that experience up, do what you have to do, and then in about 6 to 12 months' time, then reconsider with the experience that you have. And then I see people making this mistake a lot as well. In fact, I was making the same exact mistake, and changing that also helped me as well, because a lot of people, so they'll put on their LinkedIn profile or on the CV that they are an aspiring data analyst. Companies don't want an aspiring data analyst. They want a data analyst. Whether okay, maybe you're entry level or junior analyst or whatever, but they want an analyst. They don't want an aspiring data analyst. Like, have you looked up the word aspiring on in the dictionary to see what it means? If you go in the dictionary, Aspiring means someone. Let me just get it up for a second. So if you look up aspiring in the dictionary, it says eagerly or ambitiously aiming for a particular career, title, social status. Example, a team of aspiring gold medalists. And then, if you look at the synonyms as well, it says eager, would be. The companies don't want a would be data analyst. They want someone who's already an analyst. They haven't got the time. Not many companies have the time to be training you, and that's a huge gamble. They might train you, and then you might not even be a good fit after all, after wasting months and years on training you, and they don't even get nothing out of you, and they lose money. So companies want an analyst already. So adjust your CV. Say you're on entry level data analyst or whatever, or junior analyst or whatever on your CV, but don't use the word aspiring. You're either an analyst or you're not. So guys, that's what I wanted to share with you today. Again, I'm on holiday and for my birthday, and while I'm here, this is what I love doing, just creating videos. I don't really get to do that a lot when I'm home, because I don't have the space all the time at the moment, again, as I'm adjusting to a new job. So while I was here, I thought this would be a good opportunity to shoot some videos. So here we go. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. What I try to do is, I'm very new into this data world. I've been a data analyst professionally for just a little over a year now. And as I learn things, I try to share with you guys as well that are trying to break into the industry. That's what I enjoy doing, just helping people. So if you want to jump on board, if you like the content and want more content just like this, make sure you subscribe to my channel. That will help me a lot. Make sure you like the video. If you found even one part of the video that was valuable to you, it will help me a lot. And if you know somebody that is also trying to break into the industry, why don't you share with them? I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.